Hello, friends. Good morning. Welcome. This is Communication 17010, and it's a very special day for me up here in orbit because I've just heard from the launch controllers down on Earth that a Sagan 2 rocket carrying our Destiny spaceplane has successfully taken off and will soon be arriving here at the Greater.Earth space station. Well, the cargo on that spaceplane is none other than an old colleague of mine, another AstroArtist, Claudine Varesi. Now, Claudine's work was included in the Ars Ad Astra exhibition, which took place in 1995 on the Mir space station. And this was indeed the first art exhibition in Earth orbit. Well, I'm looking forward to receiving Claudine here because she has her own special view of the Earth. She's a very sensitive person, and I'm sure her time up here with me on the space station will be very valuable to us and to her. Well, let's see. I see the space plane is getting close to our space station, so I have to go down and meet her. So let's join me in welcoming Claudine to the Greater.Earth space station. Okay, talk to you soon. Well, Claudine, you made it.
I did. I'm finally here. It was a long preparation,
Okay.
long planning, but
Okay.
I'm finally here. Hello, everybody.
Okay, well, this is really my first visit from Earth since I've been up at the space station, and I'm so happy to be joined by an old friend of mine, Claudine Varesi, an astro artist.
Yes.
And we go back a long time. So how was your trip?
It was a little bit longer than I had expected, but it gave me time to do a lot of self-observation, especially on the subject that I'm studying, which is consciousness and the effect of being in space versus just meditating on Earth with all the sounds of nature and just the buzzing of life. It's very different to be outside, to have a different perspective. And yes, I've done a lot of observations. Been very interesting.
How do you like the view?
I think I'm just so struck by. It's like I've dreamed about this all my life.
Oh, wow.
And I've been wanting to see this, and now that I have it in front of me, I still can't get to the words to describe this. This is just I'm just speechless because this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Oh, fantastic. Now, tell us about your astro art a little bit.
Well, my art, as you know, has to do with humanity,
Exactly.
and it has to do with consciousness. So it's all around humans and how we perceive reality. That's it's part of the story. So that's part of my study.
Okay, well, the artwork that you had sent into space on the Ars Ad Astra project back in 1995 that went to the Mir station.
Yeah, Unity, yes.
Yeah, the Unity. Could you talk about Unity a little bit?
Well, Unity 2 is a symbolical drawing of what, at the time, I was visualizing the experience of life. What is life on Earth? I mean, all the elements of life, humanity, water, and light, right? Those were the elements. And it had to do with the project of energy. How do we preserve energy? What do we do with energy? And how can we utilize all the resources that we're gaining from space technology to improve and our access to free energy and produce free energy for the Earth?
Okay, well, it's like a Mother Earth is pregnant.
Yes,
it's very,
yes,
very, very
yeah.
touching piece.
And life, that is, life is infinite, right?
okay.
In space.
Okay, so now that you're on the space station and you want to explore your current research in terms of human consciousness, how do you think that's going to develop here in this experience?
Well, it's a one-time thing for me to be able to be here and have, as I said before, a different perspective.
Okay.
Although nothing really changes because the experience is internal. The external part is what changes from being, on a plane on the Earth that is very bound to gravity versus being here in space where there is no gravity.
Okay.
And that allows me to go deeper into myself, not to have so much the distractions of, of my senses that are constantly trying to analyze what's going around me. So it's much easier for me to go inside and to observe how observe myself in my reactions to my environment.
So I don't think anybody's done any real research in the effect of meditation in when one's in space, how the different the environment and the perspective really would affect that approach to meditation. I find that very, very interesting.
That's exactly right, and that's why I'm interested and always was interested in doing this kind of an approach from space, from a different perspective.
Okay, that's very cool. And how about yoga movements and so do you think they will change when you practice your yoga here in this environment?
It might change because of the lack of gravity.
Okay.
Right? So you're more floating. But the movement, you also have to get accustomed because you have to, of course, get used to the movement. That first not getting sick, the sickness of the movement and getting used to being in a lack of gravity.
Most people get a little space sick when they first experience.
I did too. When I was starting to do the first experiments, I was experiencing like a bit like when you're seasick.
Yeah,
like
right.
You're at sea. I've been at sea, so I can tell it's a little bit similar.
Yeah,
but in time, you get used to it.
Okay, most astronauts get over it pretty quickly.
And the most important thing is working with the breath, as you know.
Okay.
Right? Because as I work with my breath, I learn to control that lack of feeling of controlling my body. So as I breathe, I have more serenity and I'm more in control of my mental processes too that are not going like crazy because I'm not feeling well. So the breath is what helps me balance.
So well, that should be very, very, very valuable.
It's very valuable also because, it's the first time that you're being launched out into space, so you're a little bit nervous and everything is new. So how do you control that? Through your breath. It's all breath related.
That's very interesting. I think, this French choreographer who worked with French astronauts and tried to help them adapt to having a weightless experience and how to center the body. Kitsu Dupois, that was her name.
Yes.
I think she did a lot of valuable work working with the French astronauts.
I remember her. Yes, I did meet her.
I think we met her in Paris.
Yes, I did.
So while you're up here, in addition to your meditation, do you think you'll be inspired to maybe make some art or to write some poetry?
Definitely, because I already started writing,
okay,
and I want to work that into more like a multimedia, like with writing, with drawing, something. Okay. So I'm working on the concept first, in meditation, and then bringing it into.
Oh, that sounds really good. I'm really glad you made it up here.
Very excited.
So
yes,
I'm looking forward to what's going to come out of this.
Let's
and
see.
maybe. With a little time to get used to the situation here, you could maybe do a spacewalk outside of the station. Would you like to do that?
Oh, absolutely. I am all for it out there in this beauty of a
just
space.
To be you're your own satellite when you're doing a spacewalk. You're unattached.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can bring you back.
Yes. Okay.
But it's important too. But
I might need one of those orange suits.
Okay. Well, that's what goes in. We have actually a real spacesuit that's that protects you from all of the vacuum of space and the radiation of space.
No, but I came here and I told you I'm ready for the adventure and for the experiment, and this has value.
Okay.
And I want to share this.
Okay.
The results of this experiment.
Oh,
so we can all profit from it.
I'm so happy you made it.
Yes, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here
anytime
with you guys.
And anybody else that wants to join me on the Greater.Earth space station, just sign up for the newsletter and send me an email, and we'll see if we can fit you in. You might have to travel to Europe first so that you can go to the launch center, and then we can arrange a launch for you, a meeting, and then take some training. You can't just from one day to the next come up here. You need to
a couple of months.
Yeah,
right? It took 6 months for me to get ready for
Okay,
this.
well, there's you're not only the artist here. You have to have other skills because we have such a small a small crew, everybody has to have different skills in case somebody falls out or they need, like I had to learn how to dock the space plane with the space station. It was very interesting, and I'm glad I know that. I feel more a part of the crew, and not just being an artist, but being an artist, of course, is very cool. And having another artist up here is very,
Yes.
very great. So, Claudine, thank you,
Thank you.
and have a good trip.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody, this is Claudine and Arthur up here on the Greater.Earth space station. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.